Have you ever wondered if trading prop firms is secretly sabotaging your trading growth? I built my first trading account from $250 without a single prop firm, and I think there's a mindset trap that's holding a whole lot of traders back. So let's break it down. And here's the controversial truth. You probably don't need a prop firm at all. Be sure to use them as a tool and not the other way around. I'm going to show you how close you really are to funding your own dream trading account because I think it's a lot closer than you think. I started day trading with my own funds, not because I was filthy rich, but because I wanted to do this for real and really prove to myself that I could. The traders that I respect don't depend on anyone else. And that's always been this really great appeal to trading for me in the first place. I literally built my first options account from just $250, literally 3 figures, and it was really tough, not gonna lie about that. The only way that I made it work was by grinding and really learning those old school trading styles that depend on, the real market mechanics and doing my very best to skip the clickbait hype. Not been perfect on that, but I've done my best. I really did take things slow, and I've really focused on compounding and the power of compounding. That way I can track everything in spreadsheets and set and work towards a goal, because it is really amazing what 1% a day or 2% a day, or even just something that sounds small like 5% a week can really do over the long term, and really the shorter long term, to be honest. It adds up really fast when you start small and focus on consistency, which is the more boring skill, but it's the most useful if you want to make a lot of money, to be honest. A quick pause before I go ruffling some more feathers, but if you're serious about trading and are interested in using prop firms the right way after watching this, check the description for discount codes on legit trading firms and tools that I actually use. You'll save some money and you'll support the channel, so it's a win-win. Okay, once I started trading futures and streaming, prop firms really just started popping up everywhere. Fortunately, I was already trading and I had my own account before I ever even knew what a prop account was, or really even futures in general, since I started in options. But, prop firms sound really cool, but there is a lot of baggage that comes with them that nobody talks about. So let's get into that. So as a futures trader, I know that I can get huge leverage from specialty brokers. So I don't need thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to carry these positions. I really only need $500 for an ES mini, $1,000 for an NQ mini, and just a tenth of that, even less, for the micro contract. So $50 or $100. You do not need $50,000 or $100,000. Really, you can start with just a couple grand, and that's really the same leverage that you get with a prop account. So before I dive really deep into the real mindset differences, remember that you can be your own prop firm for less than you think. If you've failed prop challenges, don't sweat. This next part's for you. So I always treat my funds like they're a tool of my trade. If I break my taco truck, there's no more taco money. If I break my trading account, there's no trading. And that's why I never, or at least I do my best to never throw random trades at the market. In theory. That should be priority number 1, is not throwing random BS trades at the market. So when I'm trading my own money, it makes me really careful and methodical. My job is to nurture these funds and pull some profits when I can, and then repeat. So, of course, I make mistakes, and sometimes there's losses that aren't caused by mistakes. It's just, the market's marketing. And so my job is to protect that account, however it is, with stop losses, with money management, with, doing the math and the homework ahead of time before I place a trade to make sure that it's going to work in my account. I really have to have strict limits. Back on the discipline, right? It takes a lot of discipline and patience. If you want to be a badass trader, You need badass discipline, so you might as well start building it now and not using that prop as a crutch. I got curious about prop firms with, the minimum risk and, decent profit share. I have tried Apex, Top Step, Take Profit Trader, My Funded Futures, Bullnox, Trade Day, you name it, right? All of these different prop firms have pros and cons, but the real difference a lot of the time is in your head. So if you pick a legitimate firm, it really comes down to you. When it's your capital, losses sting a lot more. So with a prop, it feels more like a gamble. You pay $100 for a shot at $50K. Remember, it's the drawdown that you're really working with. So a $50K account is more like $2K. When you own the capital, you own the rules and the withdrawals. Prop firms take a cut, and their rules, when anything happens, can wipe out months of progress before you ever get to that withdrawal. Losing an account on a technicality hits harder than blowing up on drawdown. It's about the game and not your trading when that happens. Prop firms turn into a game really from the get-go with their marketing. It starts with win the challenge, hit the milestone. Most of these are just sim accounts that you can reset or replace. And I've seen a lot of really good traders get stuck because they just can't handle not having that reset button when you put them into real funds in the real world. And that's not real trading. Sure, it can make a lot of money in the near term, but for me, I'm always thinking bigger than that and longer term. So what happens is a lot of the times you eventually kind of stop caring about these accounts. That mindset kind of keeps you trapped in prop firms and makes it harder to grow into bigger risk or other markets where there's real live funds and real risk where you can't just hit the reset button. The money you spend on challenges could fund your own account without the mental trap and some of the backwards progress that we make, kind of building some bad habits, not treating these accounts like real money. So, props aren't bad. I'm not saying that. I use them, but I treat them as secondary tools and not my main gig. My priority is building my own mega account that nobody else can tell me what to do with. I keep my prop accounts by treating them like extensions of my own funds and only trading them more seriously like I would real funds, at least most of the time. There are kind of some other strategies you can do with evaluations and take a little bit more risk, but in general, the mindset is, especially once I get put into a live account, this is the same as my other live money and I need to treat it as such. We all, give in to those temptations from time to time, but it is so much easier when you're in a prop account and you just don't have all of that personal heat in the game. That low cost of entry makes prop accounts really easy to devalue, which is what leads to all of these bad trading habits. When you don't have real skin in the game, it just makes it so much easier to over leverage and revenge trade, exactly the kind of things that we're trying to avoid. So when you're self-funded, it forces you to respect the market and your money. Every tick matters. And with props, it's a lot easier to get numb to all of that. But protecting your capital is protecting your future, whether it's live funds or in a prop. So patience, focus, and strategy, those are the real skills of a trader that we need to be focused on, rather than some of these little prop firm nuances. The bottom line is, in my opinion, maybe you should start with your own funds if you can, even if it's really tiny and small, and use the prop firms as tools and not crutches, so that you're really free to develop those real skills that your future self will really thank you for. So don't get caught in the prop firm trap. Use the firms without the firms using you, and then we'll really see the profits start stacking up for you. I hope this helps. I hope you're having a really great trading week. And until next time, love you. Bye.